Titian, whose full name is Tiziano Visilio, is a Venetian painter who was widely known during the 16th century for his paintings that are lush with detail and accuracy. The website nationalgallery.org states that he was born in the town of Pieve di Cadore at the Dolomite Mountains in the northeast of Italy. Although his exact birth date was never documented, it was suggested to be around the 1490s. The same site states that he began learning under the wing of Sebastiano Zuccato, then Gentile and Giovanni Bellini in Venice during his adolescence. The 16th century was the time of the High Renaissance and Mannerism art movements, where both religious and secular iconography was highly prevalent, and the emphasis of nude or draped figures with elongated proportions was often the norm for painters of this era. Although Titian was no stranger to painting full figures in three-dimensional scenery, he often made portraits of people with a high status. For example, smarthistory.org specifies that Visilio was great friends with the Tuscan poet Pietro Aretino, who is often known for being witty while also an impressionable art connoisseur. One of Titian's earlier works in 1515, Portrait of a Man, medmuseum.org states that it is of Giorgione, another Italian painter of the High Renaissance. This would mean that it was made around Titian's 20s, where he would display not just anatomical knowledge, but also demonstrate textures of Giorgione's skin and hair, and even the dark fabric that blends with the background. Notably, he even rendered the frills around his neck, many of which have a shadow suggesting that Titian was already experienced with depicting light and how it affects multiple surfaces. The eyes, however, would be large and disproportionate with the head, marking Titian's room for growth as he is still young. As the years go on in the 1520s, Titian would paint Angel and finish in 1522, as stated on wikiart.org. In this portrait, Titian decided to include more of the angel's figure as opposed to the other painting of Giorgione, where it features his shoulders and head. This painting would feature many folds on the angel's garments, which Titian would shade and highlight to great detail. Conventionally, a portrait would have a light source that would illuminate the figure's face. However, Titian decided to source the light behind the angel to create a rim light. The only illumination would be the ambient light on the angel's face. Just within a span of 5 years, Titian was able to depict light more naturally, while also keeping his figures realistic. A prominent feature of Titian's paintings are that the darkest areas of the figure tend to blend with the background, possibly a stylistic choice he would keep throughout his career. Far later into Titian's life, the High Renaissance would reach the Mannerist period. He would still be making portraits with extreme detail. However, this time Titian would demonstrate his skill several steps further with the portrait of a girl, stated to be painted in 1545 on wikiart.org, where he doesn't just render the usual skin, hair, and cloth, he would also render each braid, the translucent frills on the lady's arms and shoulder, as well as the patterned stitching on her dress, which would also require its own individual highlights and shade. Titian makes a powerful display of patience and technical skill, which he would carry with him until his untimely demise to the plague in 1576.